Charlie made you think about it, but she is not your savior. Sabrina made you feel empowered, but she is not your savior. Dochi told you get your rate up, but she is not your savior. Chappell made you give her flowers, but she is not your savior. Now, I know what you're going to say. Kamia, do we really need more Chappell Roan discourse? Do we really need you, of all people, jumping in on this? Now, look, I don't want to talk about this either. You think I want to jump into this bullshit? I don't want. It's exhausting. It is exhausting. The internet is exhausting now. I just want to enjoy my nice sapphic pop music. I just want to go to the Pink Pony Club and have fun. But no, there has to be this fucking discourse. And now I have to jump in. But you know what? You're making me do this. Yeah, you are making me do this. Because you know what? The people, y'all got to learn a lesson. Yeah, y'all got to learn a lesson. And you know what? If you're putting it up to Auntie Camilla in order to be the one to tell it to you, you did this to yourself. You did this to yourself. People need to know this, that Chappell Roan is not your savior. So, in case you don't know, Chappell Roan is the brand new princess of pop. She's been around for years, but she majorly blew up last year in 2024. And because of that, apparently, every single person cares so much about Chappell Roan's, not her music, not her performances, not anything related to her job and what she does. They care so much about her politics. Chappell Roan says this. Chappell Roan doesn't say this. Chappell Roan endorses this person. Chappell Roan doesn't endorse this person. Chappell Roan says she doesn't care about politics. I'm very upset about that. Chappell Roan says she is going to talk about politics. I'm very upset about that. Everyone has an extremely strong opinion on Chappell Roan's politics. Well, guess what, baby? She is not your savior. So why did Kendrick say that? Obviously, we all know my boy Kendrick Lamar famously has said that he is not your savior. Why did he say that? Now, the difference between Chappell Roan and Kendrick is that Kendrick is an actually pretty explicitly political person, right? And by that, I mean like in the actual art, in his music itself, it is extremely explicitly political. Chappell Roan does not really make political music. It's really not. It's great music, lots of bops, lots of sad tearjerkers, not exactly expressively political. I guess you could interpret Hot to Go as a Marxist critique of the surplus value of labor. Most people probably won't. But Kendrick actually does make very explicitly political music. Have you ever heard To Pimp a Butterfly? But yet, Kendrick still says that he is not your savior. Why? What does Kendrick mean by this? Well, here's the thing. Around the world, but especially here in the good old United States, unfortunately, I was forced to grow up here against my will, just like how it's against my will to make this video. There is this great thing called individualism. Yes, individualism. It is an idea that there is no society, there are no masses of people, there are no groups, there are just individuals. And that the course of human history is just the tale of individuals, great men history. That's all that happened. This one man did this one thing, and then maybe this other one man did this other thing to stop that one man. That's how history works. That's how change works. That is how everything works. Individuals. So Kendrick, being someone who cares very deeply about the world, who cares very deeply about all people and especially his community, made To Pimp a Butterfly and released it in 2015. And To Pimp a Butterfly, as you probably know, is a masterpiece, right? It's one of the best albums of all time, and it is extremely, extremely explicitly political. But here's the thing. After To Pimp a Butterfly came out, was racism ended? Was oppression ended? Was police murders ended? No. No, they weren't. In fact, for the next two albums, Damn and then Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, Kendrick deals with this exact issue. The issue of the fact that he tried to be the world's savior. He tried to be the world's savior, and it didn't work. It didn't work. To Pimp a Butterfly is one of the greatest albums of all time, one of the most explicitly political albums of all time, and it couldn't change the world. It's not just that it didn't, it couldn't change the world. So Kendrick had to come to a realization. The realization that individualism, as typified by celebrity worship, is not the factor that changes things in the world. If we want to change the world, if we want to make the world a better place, if we see all of this death and destruction and corruption in the world and we want to change it, we want to make it to where that doesn't happen, or at the very least, it happens to a much smaller degree by having fundamental changes in society. And I'm not saying I endorse that, of course, I'm just talking theoretically. If we believe that, and I genuinely believe that every single person who is upset at Chappell Roan for whatever statements she has or hasn't made, I genuinely believe that in their heart of hearts, subconsciously at least, they want the world to be a better place. That's where their anger and resentment is coming from. They want the world to be a better place. But they're putting their faith, they're putting their belief in an individual, a celebrity, one person. And again, someone who's not even explicitly political. So when Kendrick says he's not your savior, he's refuting the idea of individualism. Because if you look at the track list on the album, a few songs after Savior, after he has this revelation, comes the song Mr. Morale. And in that song, Kendrick is talking about the need to heal the Black community, the need to heal all people and hurt people, hurting people, and ending that. But he changes the way that he talks about it. Before, he was using I, me. But then he changes it to us. Who got to heal him but us? We. Kendrick was able to come to the conclusion that individualism is not how the world actually works. The world is a collection of people. Many people. Huge groups of people. Billions of people. And for the most part, there are mainly two different groups of people. There are many different groups, but for the most part, there's two different groups of people. There is the rich, the capitalists, and then there's everyone else. The workers, the working class. And are there some divisions within that? Of course, yes. But for the most part, there are those who are rich and who own a lot of things, and those who are forced to work because they don't own a lot of things. They don't own huge corporations and all these sorts of things. A lot of people expected that when Kendrick performed at the Super Bowl, that because Donald Trump was going to be there in the audience, that Kendrick had to say something. He had to do something. And I think what they wanted him to do was basically just get on stage and flip off Donald Trump and then just be like, fuck you, Donald Trump. And that would somehow change everything. Somehow, if Kendrick did that, then all of the things that have been happening in the last 100 days or so would have never happened because Kendrick is our savior and he saved us. But what does Kendrick actually say when he started the Super Bowl performance? He said, the revolution about to be televised, you picked the right channel, but the wrong guy. The right channel is the American people. The vast majority, the majority of people who are working class, but they picked the wrong guy because he's not our savior. Kendrick is not our savior, and we can't look towards him and a fucking Super Bowl performance as the thing that's going to change the world, as the thing that's going to end oppression, because it literally can't. But individualism keeps us docile. It keeps us docile because all that energy that you have, which has the intention of wanting to change the world, the intention of wanting to make the world a better place, all of that gets funneled into you fucking micromanaging celebrities and what they're saying and what they're doing and criticizing every single little thing that they do. All of your energy gets filtered back not into joining an organization, not into joining a union, not into fighting back. All of your energy gets put into, I'm going to fucking be on this Chappell Roan subreddit and talk shit because, oh, maybe she like pushed someone or something, which she didn't actually push them. But you know what I'm saying? Like all these little tiny minute things, I'm going to spend my time and spend my energy and spend my emotions doing that instead of going out here. And not just going out here with other people. The point is, you need to start having faith. You need to start believing in your power. Because if you have power, that means that the person next to you has power. That means that your neighbors have power. That means that your coworkers have power. That means that your friends and your family have power. And what does it mean if all of these people who have power come together? Well, that just increases their amount of power. And as much as there's an obvious power imbalance, financially, physically, between the ultra rich and everyone else. But at a certain point, when you go from 100,000 to 500,000 to 1 million to 100 million, right? There are 300 million people in the United States. And globally, there are, of course, billions of people. What happens when they realize their power, their collective power? What happens? What does history show us happen? Do revolutions in history happen because a celebrity stood up and said something, and then everybody was just like, cool, I guess the world's going to change now without us having to do anything? No. That's not how it works. And I don't blame you for thinking that's how it works because, look, I was raised in the same fucking American education system as you were, right? Or if you're from a different country, I'm sorry. But like, I get it, all right? I used to think the same shit. I used to micromanage celebrities too and get very upset if they didn't have the exact same political beliefs that I had, or if they weren't saying something on a specific topic. But it doesn't fucking matter. Chappell Roan is a musician. She makes music. She performs music. So I care about her music. I enjoy listening to her music. I enjoy watching her performances. I think she's great. I think we need all the sapphic representation we can get. I am not looking to Chappell Roan to give me political theory, to give me a political analysis of what's going on. And I'm definitely not looking towards Chappell Roan or Kendrick Lamar or anyone else to be the person to enact material change in this world. Because they literally can't, even if they wanted to. That's all Kendrick wanted to do. All he wanted to do with To Pimp a Butterfly was save the world. He tried it. He tried to be a savior and he literally couldn't. And now he has come to the point of realizing that we picked the right channel, but the wrong guy. Because we don't just need one guy. We don't just need one person. We need everyone. We need the actual majority of people, the masses. We have to believe in ourselves and believe in the people around us. That is how change happens. So can we all agree to stop being mean to Chappell Roan, to stop harassing her, harassing any celebrities, but specifically stop harassing her? She is a queen. I will do everything for my queen. I have shown, what is it? Something fealty? Fealty? I have shown fealty? I don't know. I am dedicated to my queen. I have my sword for her. So please stop talking shit, all right? Please stop talking about it, you know? And that's another thing. This is not even related. But like, you notice how it's like there's not that much queer representation, especially when we get to like that higher echelons of like big mainstream sort of things like pop music and stuff like that. And then especially because she's a woman, she gets so much more critique. If Chappell Roan was a fucking white cis gay man, I'm just saying, it's a little interesting that she gets so much hate. That's a little interesting. I wonder what's going on there. But that's an issue for another day. So let's stop disrespecting the queen and let's start respecting us and our collective power to do anything. And I want to reiterate once again that I in no way endorse any form of political change or revolutions or any of that stuff. I'm just writing a paper for my sociology class, and they said I could do a video essay instead. So I was like, well, I want to talk about Chappell, Roan, and Kendrick, so I'll weave together this whole thing, but I in no way would ever endorse something like that. Please don't put me in jail. Please don't deport me. Auntie, cut me out.